How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at A Foulness in the Walls. This is from Aftershock Comics and is a one-shot printed in this oversized magazine format, a bigger book and a little bit longer book than your typical one-shot. This is written by modern horror comic writer Cullen Bunn, who's done a lot of really great stuff. Most commonly known for The Empty Man, which got turned into a movie, and also Harrow County, a really famous horror comic. But he also wrote a lot of Deadpool, which is cool as well. Really a big fan of Cullen Bunn's work, so you show me you give him an oversized one-shot, yeah, I'm gonna snap that up and take a look at it. And Aftershock does these all the time, and I really do like them. Stories that are a little longer than a regular one-shot, but maybe don't need to be a full 6-issue miniseries. I really do like, giving one-shots a lot more weight with this format. They gave Cullen Bunn another one-shot before this called Piecemeal, which I thought was really great, about some kids who find a human brain inside of a haunted house. And the story goes in really unexpected directions. I definitely recommend you get a copy of that one if you can find it. But after Piecemeal, I was really curious what he would do next. I saw this on the shelf, snapped it up right away. And with A Foulness in the Walls, it's a really interesting story. You get this guy, his elderly mother just died, and he wants to have a nice little life. He's not reaching for huge aspirations. He's just trying to build a life for himself. He buys a house. It's not the biggest, best house. It's a little bit run down, but it's his, and he's starting something. Kind of that millennial dream. I mean, my whole generation, we really just would love to have a house, but it seems so distant and unattainable. And to see this guy finally get just a little version of this dream, and then he gets a job, and it's not a great job, it's a job at the local supermarket, but you really do feel like, oh man, this guy's life's not great, but he's starting to build something, and that's important. Well, he's starting to build something, but the house has a problem. The foulness in the walls. There's a smell coming from inside the wall like something died in there, and when he finally decides to tear down the wall and see what it is, let's just say there's some sort of unexpected presence in there that he's going to have to deal with. But he says that it feels like the smell is trying to drive him out of the house, take what precious little that he's managed to get for himself. And I tell you, that is the biggest driving force in this comic, is this super relatable, I want to build a nice little life, not necessarily the biggest, but I want to have something, and to feel that little bit that you want, you can't even have that. There's going to be some force trying to take it from you, trying to push it out. Yeah, talk about the horrors of the real world. I do also want to say with Cullen Bunn, I've noticed a nice range in his work. Horror, you can have big over-the-top monsters, or you can have smaller, more artsy things. And this is definitely on the smaller, more artsy side of it. I could totally see this being made into an indie film, and the critics just absolutely loving it. Now, if you're wanting over-the-top blood and gore and stuff like that, there'll be a little bit of that to the end, but know that this is more an artsy story. It's more about the meaning, and it's more about this character just trying to get something. So know that going in, that it's more on the artsy side. But I really do like that, with Bunn's work, that we can get a wide range of stories. Piecemeal is very different from this one. Phantom of the Scan was very different than Unsound, and I really like with Cullen Bunn just how much of the wide array of horror that he has explored, and this is another interesting corner of it. Now, I will say it's not my absolute favorite. I did definitely like Piecemeal better, and I do tend to like the bigger, over-the-top horror, but I did read this all the way through really quick, wanting to know what happened to this poor guy. I did really like it, even though I do want to say it's not my favorite, and know it's on the quieter side going into it, but I still definitely would recommend picking this up, and it's going to be cool to have something going next to Piecemeal on the shelf. Hopefully they give them a bunch more of these, because I really do like this format. Really, I said it with Piecemeal, I'll say it with this one, almost feels like a little movie there, you know? And I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, if you guys want to see more of this comic, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. I'll take a little bit of a look at the release, show you guys a little bit of the story and the art. I won't do any major spoilers, but I'll crack the book open and show you guys a little bit of that. So without further ado, let's switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at A Foulness in the Walls. I guess first thing we should say is this is an oversized magazine format, and I think one of the best ways to bring that into perspective is to show it side by side with a regular sized comic. Here is Nightwalkers. It's another Cullen Bunn book that I'm covering, and it's printed in the regular size, so we can see by putting them in front of each other, a little bit taller, a lot wider, so we can see just how much bigger this book is. By the way, Nightwalkers, really fun creature survival horror. Definitely would recommend it. It's on issue 2 right now, so it just got started. But anyway, A Foulness in the Walls. Let's bring this close. Aftershock one-shot, and we get to see the credits on the top. Cullen Bunn, Rodrigo Zayas, and a really nice old school, font there for the title. And we get to see the for sale of the house in his glasses, and it's making his eyes bleed. So yeah, a really striking cover image with this red and blue and a little bit of purple back there. I think it's pretty fun. Flip it to the back, and we get to see something just doesn't smell right. And we get him with the hole, which will describe a lot about what this book's about, a little summary, and a little bit about the people who made it. Anyway, we crack it open, and on the inside, we get the cover in nice greenish black and white, A Foulness in the Walls, and we get the full credits and legal at the bottom. But anyway, after that, I'll go ahead and show you guys a little bit of the plot. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers. I'll try to keep this into just the setup portion. But let's take a little bit of a look at the story and the art. No major spoilers, and let's try not to go too far. We get this guy, and we get these intercutting scenes at the beginning. Come on, Mom, open up just a little more. And we see the house is for sale, and then it's not. And then the mom is gone and the bed is empty. Well, we flip to the next page, and he's got his friend helping him move in. His one and only friend. And yeah, you start moving and you only have one friend show up. Yeah, that's pretty sad. But he explains that he was living in the assisted living center with his mother to help keep an eye on her. But obviously, when the mother passed, they're not going to let him just stay in an old people place by himself. So he had to go and get somewhere, and he didn't want another apartment because he wants to move on with his life and actually build something. There's another really sad scene after this, well, during this, towards the end, where he asks, hey, do you want to come over in a few days and see what I've done with the place? And the guy says, oh no, I'm really busy. So you only have one friend to help you move, and he doesn't come back to see the place in a few days. And we get these sad shots where he's all alone, looking around the house, and then cut to the house at night. Pretty sad stuff. But after that, we do get scenes where he sends in his job application to the Price Saver place, and they're like, "Oh, you're older than most of the people we get here." And then we get a scene where someone tries to give him money thinking he's homeless. So yeah, not the best start, but it eventually does turn around when he actually does get the job. And the person training him is this redheaded woman who's being very friendly, and his life starts to progress, and the woman actually invites her back to her place for some drinks, and they're going to start dating, and overall, it looks like his life is going on the right track. He has a job, he has a girlfriend, he has his own house, but there's a problem with the house. He's sleeping there on his first night when he notices a smell, and it's coming from the bathroom, and at first he thinks it's some sort of plumbing problem. Now, he tries a few things to get rid of the problem once it gets really bad. He tries to spray it away, and of course, even though he uses the whole can, it's not going away. And then he tries this whole bit where he gets a bunch of the little trees and tries to put them in the bathroom to try to outweigh the smell. And he's like, I'll put this up while you just slowly fade away. And the thing is, though, he starts to suspect that there's something rotten in the walls. And really, you can try to overpower a dead animal all you want. You really gotta cut the wall open and get the thing out of there. So even though he doesn't do it for a long time, he does eventually decide, hey, I got to get this thing out. And he takes a hammer and he starts whacking away at the walls. But when he finally gets inside, there's the shot that was used on the back cover. He says, "What? What did you say? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear." And he starts having a one-sided conversation with a strange and mysterious entity within the walls itself. So, who does he see back there? It's some sort of hallucination, maybe? But we don't see who he's talking to, and I won't say exactly who it is, but you have to take a look at his dialogue and try to interpret that, and it takes you a second to figure out who he's talking to, so I like that they don't spell it out right away. But obviously it does hint at a darker backstory, and you do have to wonder, okay, what is he going to do? And the smell really does drive him to quite an extreme place. But also I like the idea the smell is trying to drive him out, trying to take away the precious little life he's built for himself, and what exactly he'll do to try to get rid of it. It is all pretty interesting. Like I said, it is on the more quiet, artsy side of horror, but I really did like the concept. I like the meaning a lot, and overall I thought it was really cool. But don't expect too much big over-the-top violence and gore, although, again, maybe we do get a little of that towards the end. But overall, I can definitely recommend it, and I would definitely recommend checking this out. His other Aftershock one-shot, Piecemeal, definitely go see if you can find that one. That is a good one, and it would be really great to have both of these back-to-back. I'm hoping we get like a whole bunch of them and have a nice little spot on the shelf for them. Overall, pretty cool stuff. I definitely recommend it. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Cullen Bunn playlist, where you can see me talk about other of his books. For example, I talked about Volume 1 of Harrow County. I talked about The Unsound, which I think is a pretty underrated Cullen Bunn book. I talked about Piecemeal, the other Aftershock one-shot. And I, of course, have been talking about his new book, Nightwalkers, in there. So if you want to see that, you should be able to find all that stuff in that playlist. Anyway, Have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Cullen Bunn playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.